What is the most important tool I use to prototype a concrete speaker? Well, it's not a mixer, it's not a mold, it's a 3D printer. And I throw every single mold away because a 3D printed mold is a prototype tool, not a production tool. And knowing the difference, well, that's what separates a one-off build from a repeatable product. Before any concrete gets poured, everything starts in the CAD program. I design the speaker cabinet first, the geometry, the internal volume, the port placement, all of it. Once the cabinet design is where I want it, then I build the mold directly off the cabinet surface. So I do like a zero offset of the surface and essentially wrap the mold right around the speaker shape. It's a clean way to work because the mold is always perfectly matched to the cabinet. There's no guesswork, no tolerance issues between two separate files, and from there it goes to the printer. A typical mold takes, say, 1 to 2 days to print depending on the complexity, so the full cycle from a CAD change to a mold that's ready to pour is roughly, say, 2 to 3 days. Now that might sound slow, but think about the alternative. Traditional tooling for every single design iteration would take weeks and cost significantly more. The 3D printing workflow lets me treat every pour as a learning opportunity. I'm not precious about the mold because I know I can have another one in 2 days. Most people see a finished speaker and assume the design just came together. Well, it didn't. And the advantage of working this way is that changing anything costs me almost nothing. I adjusted the internal volume between pours to hit a target cabinet tuning. I reworked the draft angles so the cabinet would release from the mold cleanly. And that's something you really don't think about until your first pour is stuck and you're standing there wondering what went wrong. I changed where the mold splits entirely to make the demolding easier, and I went through multiple iterations just on the driver cutout to get a clean, precise fit. Each one of those changes cost me a printed mold and a day or two of work. But without 3D printing, each one of those changes could have easily cost me weeks. Once the CAD is dialed in and the mold is printed, the real test begins, the pour. And this is where you find out pretty quickly whether your mold design actually works. The concrete mix has to reach every corner, every cavity, every detail in the mold. If your geometry is too tight, the mix won't flow. If the wall sections are too thin, you risk a blowout. And here's the thing, this is why iteration matters so much. You're not just testing the design of the cabinet, you're testing whether the mold itself is actually buildable. So once the concrete is poured, you're waiting for the cure. And then comes demolding, which is its own challenge. Concrete likes to stick to the mold. So if you don't put mold release on it, if your draft angles aren't right, that mold is not coming off cleanly. And I've learned that the hard way early on, which is exactly why draft angle became one of the first things I iterated on. But when it works, when the mold releases cleanly and you're holding a raw concrete cabinet for the first time, that's when you know whether the design is worth taking to the next level. I want to thank this week's sponsor, Pale Blue Batteries. They got these really cool batteries with a USB-C port right on the battery. So you can take a power bank on the go, you can charge them up, have power on the go. Pale Blue Batteries, they're awesome. Now I know what some of you are thinking, why not just 3D print the cabinet itself? And yes, you could do that, but here's the problem. Even the densest 3D printing filaments are still pretty lightweight and resonant compared to concrete. The whole point of a concrete cabinet is mass and density. So the materials that resist vibration rather than contribute to it. 3D printing is an incredible tool, but the material properties of any filament work directly against what makes a great speaker cabinet. But here's the trade-off with 3D printed molds too. They aren't built to last either. The heat generated during the concrete curing warps the filament. And how much it warps depends on the geometry. So like flat mold faces are the most vulnerable. Curved sections hold up better because the shape distributes the stress more evenly. But honestly, warping isn't even the biggest limitation. A standard 3D print build plate is like 256 millimeter by 256. And that sounds like it's plenty until you're actually trying to build a full speaker cabinet. For example, the back panel of my Encore speaker required 6 separate mold sections just to fit within that build plate. More sections means a lot more parting lines and a lot more seams to deal with on the finished cabinet. So with my production tooling system, that entire back panel is one mold, one parting line, and the difference in production time is significant. That's where my production tooling system comes in. What production tooling gives you that 3D printing simply can't is dimensional stability. So no warping, no sections shifting between pores. Each single cabinet comes out straight, clean, and consistent. And these molds aren't disposable. They're built to last through a serious number of pulls. I've spent decades building production tooling professionally, and the one thing that experience has taught me is this: the quality of the tool determines the quality of the end product. Every time, without exception. That consistency is what makes the difference between a one-off project and a repeatable product. Anyone can build one concrete speaker, but building the same concrete speaker reliably over and over at a consistent quality level, well, that's a completely different problem. And that's exactly what production tooling solves. So, is 3D printing the future of hi-fi speaker design? Well, my answer is, for prototyping, absolutely yes. It's fast, it's flexible, and it lets you iterate in a way that just wasn't possible before. The ability to go from a design change in CAD to a physically poured cabinet in a matter of days is a genuine game changer for anyone who's serious about developing a speaker from scratch. But 3D printing alone isn't the whole answer. It's the starting point. The molds are temporary by design. They're meant to be thrown away. The real goal is to use that prototyping speed to get your design exactly right, so that when you commit to production tooling, you're committing to something that's actually worth building at scale. So that's the process. 3D printing gets you to the answer fast. Production tooling lets you build that answer repeatedly, consistently, and at a level of quality that holds up over time. So if you're serious about building concrete speakers, or really any kind of speaker cabinet, understanding where one tool ends and the other tool begins is what separates a prototype from a product. One more thing, I'm launching a speaker website in the next few weeks where you'll be able to get your hands on one of these cabinets. If you want to be the first to know when it goes live, get on my email list. You can click on the link below or send me an email at info@timberwestdesign.com. Love to have you on the list. Just ping you when things are moving forward and you'll know exactly what's happening. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.